Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles. And sometimes I'll go big and buy everything. With my wife and kids, we run an antique shop in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, filled with some of the most unique items we can find. I never know what's going to happen or who I'm going to meet. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc.
I'm home, honey.
Oh no! I forgot that it snowed. Well, that's okay, because I've got a handy dandy snow brush. Okay, well, before I head into the shop today, I have to tell you a story. I normally get shipping supplies when I'm doing stuff like this from a place not too far from here. They are closed right now because it's pandemic and lots of places are closed, including my shipping supplier guy. So I thought, okay, well, that's a bummer. I need bubble wrap because I got to get this stuff shipped out. So I found a place that was open, but they said we're wholesale only. I went, that's okay, I've got a store. So I signed up for an account, but their prices were like $10 a roll more than my usual supplier. And my usual roll, just to give you an example of the bubble wrap, the usual roll I get is maybe like 2 feet wide. Like, it's not big, it's not very big at all. So I thought, well, it's 10 bucks more, kind of stinks, but at least I can get this stuff out the door and it'll be wrapped up and safe and sound. So they say, okay, well, you can pick it up at our warehouse, pay for it now, go pick it up. So I get to the warehouse and they've got everybody's protected. They're like standing really far away behind glass and everything, and they have the stuff set out on a skid for me. And I go and they open up the garage door, and I luckily had Melissa's car with me. When they open the garage door, what do I see? 2 rolls of bubble wrap that were like the size of Melissa's Volvo. They were huge. I mean, it was like a towering pile of bubble wrap, like a big giant. I looked at it and I thought, there's no way. It was probably about 8 feet tall and 6 feet wide, and I thought, how am I going to fit this giant roll of bubble wrap in the car? Thankfully, it came apart in 2 halves, but even at that, I had to like open up the back of Melissa's car, put the seats down, and I was like jumping at it, body checking it into the back of her car. So I'm sure that looked like a lot of fun for people that were driving past me, seeing Mr. Bubble Wrap Man going down the road. So now I have these massive, lifetime supply rolls of bubble wrap in my garage at home. Oh man, they're huge, but that was unexpected. So I'm here at the shop. I'm gonna go inside and we'll do a little shopping. And I can't believe this weather. It's supposed to be spring, and we still have piles of snow everywhere. It's just madness, I tell you. Wish the earth would just give us a break and give us some warm weather. I get some lights on in here. Sometimes when I do vlogs from the store, people see things in the background and they say, hey, would you mind shipping that out to me? And yeah, I don't mind at all. So I had a customer named Patrick who wrote me, and he saw several things that he wanted shipped out to him. So we're going to go around and gather those things up and bring them back home, and I'll pack them up with my massive roll of bubble wrap and get them out the door. First things first, he was looking for an ET set. Let's see, I kind of have my pop culture stuff all in this area here. Okay, now, I'll put the tiny little typewriter up top. Get that out of the way. Kind of a fun little toy. Okay, he wanted E.T. Just set that aside. He wanted the whole darn playset. Actually, this every single figure here. And what was really neat about this set, other than the fact that it's all ET related, is that it does this. Now it's going to home. Trying to remember what else was on the list. Okay, there's the ET set. Right, there's a Disney train, a hat, a poster. I think I've got the list written down. I'll have to refer to it, but I'm right by the train, so I'm gonna grab that out of the case. Amongst the other things that he saw in this display case, one was this, the Disneyland train. That's Lionel, that's O scale, so it's a little bit bigger, and it's never been used. I got that late last year from somebody who was a train collector that passed away, and that's celebrating, it looks like their 35th anniversary. Just gotta reach around back and get that guy out. That's the one right there. And this has train sounds on it too, so it'll actually sound like a locomotive going around. That's where it says Disneyland. And I absolutely love train sets. I've got quite a few that come and go out of the store. At one point, I had a good collection at home myself. Melissa may tell you guys in a story one day the time our basement was full of nothing but trains. I bought a huge collection off a fellow, been collecting his whole life. Kind of surprised her. She came home and our basement was flooded with train sets. Worst problems to have when you have basement flooding. Trains pouring in, not so bad in my mind, but this is going to find a new home with Patrick. I'm going to get that all wrapped back up again. Now, he asked for a Curiosity Inc. hat, which I don't sell. We have Curiosity Inc. shirts on our Teespring website, but I don't have Curiosity Inc. hats. So I'll see if I can pick one out that I think he might like that we sell out of the shop here. Okay, I think the Avro hat is kind of cool. Hopefully he'll enjoy that as I kind of make my best guess as to what would go with almost any outfit. And I didn't know if he'd want one that had Canada flags all over it and stuff, since it's all going to the United States. So that's a pretty safe bet right there. And what was the last thing on the list for our dear friend Patrick? He wanted one of these. He wanted me to send him a switchblade comb, that is. Don't worry, I'm not going to actually use yours. We're going to send you one brand new in the box. But I guess I showed these off on one of our videos before. They're novelties. They're cheap. They're 10 bucks. Kind of a fun thing. And they seem to last a long time. Our kids have them. And if you remember these, back in the 70s and 80s or even before, a lot of kids carried these around to school, hopefully not getting in trouble. But we're going to send one of these in the mail to you too. Now, there was another customer that wrote me and they were looking for a white 79 Trans Am diecast. So we're going to head to the back and see if I can find one. Now you'd think with all these cars that I would have a 1979 Trans Am in here somewhere. Chevy, there's a Porsche. Okay, 67 Impala, the American Graffiti cars. Now where would they have seen a 79 Trans Am? Oh, that's probably the one they saw. It's a 1970 Trans Am, not a 79. Okay, well, I'll have to write them and see if that'll do. I don't know if it's worth bringing home right now to ship out, because I don't know if they're even going to want it or not. But I don't know, somebody's a Camaro fan. There's definitely a lot of different Camaros here. 70.5, Baldwin Motion. These are all kind of collectible because they're discontinued now, but I'll write them an email and see if they want that one in place of the 79. Sometimes I get really cool stuff in and I show it in a video. You can't tell how big it is, like that 124 scale double-decker bus, which is actually like 1.5 feet long and probably 1/2 foot tall. It's pretty big. I had a lot of inquiries about this replica tether car. It is really big and it's probably hard for people to tell how big it is. So here's a nickel, Canadian nickel. Hey, it's the same size as the US nickel. And here's the car. It's really, really big. It's probably, you know, close to 2.5 feet long. It's a big piece. So that would be a replica of a 1950s era tether car. Lots of folks were writing me about that. So I just thought I'd give you a little bit more airtime so you can see what it looks like. They're really, really neat pieces. I'm gonna close this up. These are all old car badges. I don't know if I've ever really shown these much before. These would have been on your grill or on the front of your car. And there's quite a few interesting ones in here too. That one's more of a stained glass and metal that says Vietnam veteran on it. There's the Ontario Motor League with the beaver on top. And then there's some from the United States, like the Chicago Motor Club. There's the Detroit Automobile Club. And those would be kind of in the 1920s, 30s sort of era. There's a Shrine Temple badge right there. You can only imagine that was on the front of some cute little Shriner car at some point. I really like getting these in because if you've got an antique car and you start to put these, you know, vintage style badges on the front or on the grille, it really adds to the appeal of the vehicle. What's this one? British Columbia. It's got the little beaver on there. And those prices are in Canadian. When you see the price tag on my stuff, those are Canadian. I heard back from the folks about the Diecast Trans Am that they're looking at. Although they had their heart set on a 1979, they've decided that they'll go along with the 1970 and we'll get this shipped off to them straight away. When I make trips to the shop, I always try and take a few pictures of things that I've got kicking around and put them up on our Instagram page at Curiosity Inc. YEG. So I'll grab an item, like say this frog mask, and we'll throw it up on our site, and if anybody's interested, then off it goes. So that's one thing that I'm going to take pictures of, and I'll probably end up taking pictures of a couple other things too while I'm here, and probably do it in my light box back there so it looks a little bit more professional. This is just your basic fold-up light box, but it does a really good job. And there's always something about putting an item on display in a light box, which really just adds to its appeal. I'm going to get that in there, and then we'll hopefully get a good picture of it and get it up online. Since I'm showing off some Indigenous art, I'll probably grab a piece of art out of my soapstone collection. In this case, I happen to know the artist. This piece comes to us from our friend Anthony Antoine. He is an Inuk or Inuit gentleman who comes through our store, and he brings in these wonderful little carvings that he does that are representative of the pieces that you'd see back home where he was raised. So he's a wonderful artist, always has great energy to his pieces, and they're heavy, they're solid soapstone. So let's get a picture of this guy too. I got it, and the nice thing is if I sell this piece, it'll mean I'll have a little bit more money to give to Anthony, the artist, when he needs it and comes back and sees me again. So hopefully I'll find a buyer for that. And he's also done some of these other little polar bears and other lovely things that are in the case, but I'll put that back up in its display spot for now, but just a great little piece. When you're looking at your cases, it's hard to think about what to put up and sell right away because you still want to have some cool things in stock when people come back through to have a look. But as I walk around my shop and realize how full it is of cool stuff like that, I don't think it's going to be a problem. And I sold this today too, and I have no idea how they even saw it because I never really show it off, but this is a 2002 Rush concert poster. Really, really cool piece. It's done by Bob Massey. It's a little reflective, so it's hard to see the image in its entirety, but it is signed down there by Bob Massey. And it's a limited edition print, so that's going to be going off down to the US of A right away here. So they had a good eye. I have all these little concert posters, like an original Dexter Gordon, jazz musician. There's Cream. Let's see, what's that one? The Circle. Quicksilver Messenger Service, so that was kind of a concert series that was going on. Lots of neat things. Some, I don't think I've even really talked about this too much. This is a really early, circa 1901 Burns Cole artist proof, and this is something that they were doing for a print ad and possibly for the sides of buildings. But that's an original painting, and I just love the graphics. Look, he's got a bucket on his head. He's digging in the coal mine. I mean, he's made out of coal. I guess that makes him like a cannibal because he's made of coal and yet he's mining for coal. That's kind of a sad state of affairs. He's gone crazy. He's wearing a bucket on his head. What does he need protection from? He's already made of the stuff that he's mining. Anyway, it's a cool piece. I thought it was so neat. It's from Toronto. It's a Canadian company. But things like that are really, really scarce, and that's a good piece of advertising and a good piece of artwork as well. Lots of other posters up top there too, like the Moody Blues, Tori Amos, Cream, Country Joe Band. And these are all, well, I'm taking this one out of the frame. I'm sending it rolled up because it'd just be too darn expensive to ship framed like that. So he's okay with it. He's gonna frame it up his own way. Here's something kind of cool that I forgot I had. If you've ever seen a movie with John Wayne where he's playing Red Adair, well, that wasn't total fiction. That was based on fact. Red Adair was a real guy. And he would put out wild wells, which would mean like basically your oil well would catch on fire or blow out, and he would go and cap it off. Did a lot of work during the Iraq wars, and even came to our province of Alberta when we've had well issues too. But this set is more from the 1960s, I would say, somewhere in that range. And it's really cool because you got a couple of his early stickers that he probably would have handed out, but also a promotional lighter, which would have been a more expensive thing to hand out to people, and that's a nice early Zippo. So good little collector set like that. And someone's either a John Wayne fan or into oil and gas industry, that's a nice little frame set. Probably worth around, you know, $140 US, around $200 Canadian for a set like that. Cool thing. And although this is the third week now of our store being closed, we are still very busy. Every day I come to the shop and I pick up 3 or 4 items or so for customers and I get them mailed out. So we are trying to keep as busy as possible. Plus we've got auctions happening at Castner Auctions. So things are still progressing. I do miss having social interaction. I'm going a little bit crazy here, not being able to chat with people, but I am still having a lot of fun. So thanks very much for following me along on what is a busy shipping day for me and getting stuff packed up. Of course, if you ever see anything in the background you have questions about, you can email me at curiosityedmonton@gmail.com. Hope you guys are all doing well, and look forward to seeing all of you hopefully very soon. Take care, and bye for now.